Well, all right. Welcome everybody to this week's Zoom call. Actually, it's the last Zoom call we're going to hold during the challenge. We will be holding some Zoom calls regularly on Wednesday night with Habits of Health, with our Habits of Health class. We'll be sending out some more information about that, but just wanted to give you a heads up about that we're going to provide this as extra support through the holidays. That's a major area of temptation for all of us, and it's always challenging. There's lots of temptation in a lot of different things, stress, food, all kinds of things are going on over the next couple of months that can really sabotage our health. So that's what our topic is tonight, is developing that plan so that we are equipped to overcome those temptations. So tonight's conversation will be about that. So
I wanted to add something that Carol and I just talked about too. And Carol, I'd like for you to elaborate as well. But some of the things that we learned in our challenge should be really neat. And it's really in our minds right now. And we've kind of adopted some of those habits. And if we could kind of go over some of those things that we can use for the holidays, that would be so neat. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of tell us what you learned about from the challenge and what you liked about it, and how you might be able to use it again in January when the next one comes up. So, Carol, do you have anything to add?
Well, I think it's a great question. I would love to hear from all of you about what can you take forward with you? What is it that you think you can apply, or perhaps already are, that is going to serve you well once we're finished next week?
Yeah.
Any ideas that you could share with us?
Well, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. What I find really helpful is just kind of thinking about, when you are eating, because it's like a lot of the readings that we've had, you just kind of automatically may take a piece of candy or, a pop or something like that. And to think about every time that you're doing that, and then, if you think about how many times you do that during the day, and, how many calories can add up.
Yeah.
Though I haven't lost any weight on this challenge, but.
Yep, that's a great point, because those habits sabotage us, and it's unconscious, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially when we're under a lot of stress or we're super busy. It seems like I remember the time when I was writing a grant, and I didn't have stuff on my desk because I was in the weight loss phase of my program, and I thought, wow, I did not realize how much I just ate mindlessly when I'm stressed. If it's sitting there, it's going in my mouth, that whole chewing thing, and, just not having that stuff around really helps too.
Yeah, and I recall working on a design program, and the three of us designers were at a table, and the center of the table was a basket of varied chocolate candies. That was it. Let's go get some chocolate. We'd sit down and eat that, and talk about ideas, and develop this course. So I'm not sure about developing a course without chocolate. I think maybe that was the fuel. You have it.
Well, you don't even, and then you realize the whole basket's gone. And you think, holy cow, I don't even remember eating that.
Exactly.
Or who ate that?
Yeah. How much did I eat? I got 15 wrappers sitting next to me.
We've got another caller. Hurt is on.
I see Herdy's on. I don't see her face though, Herdy. Not sure she can hear us yet.
And the first holiday, if you want to call it that, that's coming up, that's a challenge right now for me, is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, I want to contribute. We do trunk or treat at our church, and I want to contribute, but I don't want to give them bags of high fructose corn syrup. And I'm trying to figure out what can I contribute that's healthy.
That they'll still like.
Yeah.
It's funny how much kids like stickers and stuff, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's lots of other things that we can pass out that are actually even less expensive than, bags of candy. Because you think of how much of that candy goes home and just is thrown in the garbage anyway.
And it's not cheap.
No.
Really not.
No, I think it'd be cheaper to go get 2 rolls of quarters and hand out quarters.
That's not a bad idea. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and the kids will like it because, they get something to throw in the piggy bank. I mean, quarters, not very much. Maybe I could go 50 cents, but I don't get that many trick-or-treaters, so.
Yeah.
But,
Some people get 100 of them. They're probably not going to want to give out quarters, but there's
yeah, that's
Snickers.
true.
There's
That's true.
they like those. They like you can go to. We have a place called Nobby's, and it's Oriental Trading is really what it is if you've heard of that. And you can get a bag of those little balls or something, and they're not very expensive, but kids like those things too, and it probably would last. They probably mess with it a little bit longer than they would the candy even. So it doesn't have to be unhealthy.
That's good. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I wish I would have
I
heard
still
that
have
before I went shopping.
Well, I still have Halloween candy left in my cupboard from last year. That's how good I've been being for the last year.
Wow, that's good. Well,
You must have bought something that you didn't like.
that's
No,
always my
actually,
strategy. Not to
There's
buy
Whoppers
anything I
in
like.
there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At my office, of course, we keep candy there for the clients. I mean, I got a big old bowl out there, and when you go to my back office where my training room is, my team keeps all kinds of things. But I'm telling you, I'm kind of glad it's there because it has challenged me not to mess with it, which I haven't. And that's what this challenge has done. It's created habits in my life that I know I don't have to have those things. And each day is very new to me this year, and so that's been very good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's awesome.
Yeah, I keep sugar-free hard candy at my desk.
That's
I have a big bowl of just plain sugar-free hard candy and people will come by and get it.
Well,
they probably don't even realize it's sugar-free.
I don't buy the sugar, I buy the
A lot of them don't.
Can you buy big bags of that for Halloween?
I buy big bags for the office all the time. I'll probably go through 3 huge bags from Sam's every 2 weeks.
But are they sugar-free, WD?
Heavens no.
That's
I
what
want
I'm
to so I can get them on Metafast meals. I said, you looking kind of pudgy. I got a butler for you. Be my wife. There's an alternative. There's methods.
Well, I tell
And
you,
WD gets away with this. I don't know why, but it works for him. He'll say, "Hey, you need to get on my wife's program."
That just tickles me.
well, I tell you, going through transition is training me for the holidays because I'm finding that I want some of everything. I want some of bread and some of the stuff that I haven't eaten in a while.
Yeah.
And I've had to really remember stop challenging chews, and it's been a challenge.
Yeah, today's reading was on Stop Challenge and Choose, and that was good. She did a nice job with that, just remembering that.
Yeah, one of the things that I've really learned from this challenge is to always have water with me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Because I would have water, or I'd have something to drink at the breakfast time. I'd have, the water, because I usually would drink a lot of water, but I would have it at lunch, and I might have, a glass in the afternoon. But now I always keep it full. As soon as it's empty, I go and refill it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always there with me. And that's, I think, really been helpful this time around.
That's
I
great.
really love to hear that. Today I was browsing through some before and after pictures of people after they had started drinking a lot of water. And it was stunning, the difference. Just before, cute, still looked pretty and everything, but a few more circles under the eyes and a couple of these, And after they had been drinking 100 ounces of water for like a week or a month, I'm not sure how long it was, but it was long enough to make a difference. all of her wrinkles were gone.
Hmm.
She looked so much healthier, and she kind of was glowing. One of them was really glowing. And I was so excited about that because, you know, who wants to have something done to their face? You know, you really just want to be natural if you can, and do it the healthy way. And I was very, very excited about that. Just drinking water helps you think better, sleep better, everything.
Well, and they talk about, you know, when you go to a party or whatever, having a glass of water in your hand, then you're less, you know, it helps you be more mindful about what you're picking up, because, you know, you've got something in your hand, and when you're tempted to eat something that, or overeat something, then, you know, you can have that water in your hand and you can be drinking it, and that helps with that. That was one of the things while I was in Vietnam, since we never knew when we were going to have a bathroom. You know, I really had to cut back on my water intake. You know, when you're taking a 4-hour bus ride with no restroom, you can't just drink 80 ounces of water. I really missed that. So it was good to be back and getting back into the water drinking, but you just don't realize how important that is and how differently that makes you feel to have water once you've been doing it and then you stop for a short period of time.
I also read another statistic today that 50% of the time we think we're hungry, we're thirsty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Try drinking water first and see how you feel.
And I thought today's, reading about water that talked about, that it reduces pesticides. You know, it helps get rid of pesticides and all those things in your body. And so many people think about how you were before, how I was before. I never drank water. I drank pop all day. And not only was I putting nastiness into my body, but there was nothing for my body to do to get rid of that. So you think of all those toxins that you had in there. So I don't know, that's just a great habit, and it just impacts you in a lot of different ways.
For me, it's also kind of a reminder, like you said, if you have something of water in your hand and then you're looking at all the bad stuff you could eat, think, there's that reminder right in front of me. It's like the water. It's like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it kind of helps me put up the stop part of the Stop Challenge Choose. It helps me realize, like, I was staring at a 3-layer cake today at this ribbon cutting event I went to for the chamber, and I had my bottle of water in my hand, and I looked at that. I looked down at my hand and go, no, not done to do it. It helps me. It's like a stop sign for me. It helps me refocus.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I like the reading. Dr. Anderson talks about that most of the time 3 bites will satiate you. So, once you're out of your weight loss phase and you're kind of in your normal life, you're going to want to have some stuff once in a while. I mean, everybody, it's part of living to have, treats once in a while, but most of the time we can be satisfied with 3 bites. And you think about, a whole big slice of chocolate cake or whatever versus 3 bites of it, and you can be satiated with that. We're coming up in the holidays again. We talked about that, but what are you going to do when you walk into a party and there's a smorgasbord of options out there? How are you going to overcome that? What's your plan? What's your strategy for that? So having that in the back of your mind, okay, what am I going to allow myself to have tonight, and what am I going to, what's going to sabotage me are good things to have thought about before you even get there. How am I going to overcome that temptation?
One strategy that helped me, because these events for the chamber, they always have a buffet of food.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where most people collect. So I just purposely get someplace and face the other direction and find somebody to talk to. So I'm not staring at that stuff. I'm not just, thinking about it. Got my back turned and I'm focused someplace else away from it, so I don't even smell it. I'm away from it.
Yeah.
And that helps me with my water, and I'm good.
Mm-hmm. What are some other strategies excuse me, Carol.
Same question, go for it.
Oh, what other strategies do y'all have out there that you're thinking of ahead of time, that you have a little bit of a plan going into these holidays, What are you going to do? What kind of meals are you going to prepare and so on?
I was
Anyone thought about it?
actually taking a Medifast meal with me, to an on-the-go, type thing, or maybe even fix a brownie and have that to be able to take out and eat while I'm there.
That's neat.
A handful of almonds or something.
Mhm.
That's neat. You'll feel like you're still celebrating, but you'll be celebrating your way.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
I like that.
And sometimes I'll eat one of those or drink a shake real quick on the way to the event.
Mhm.
But I'm really, I'm pretty full.
Mhm.
So
Don't you think that's the trick, though, not to walk into those events starving?
no, you're
You
doomed.
need to really have, you don't have to be full, but you can certainly, you think much more clearly when you're not starving,
Yeah.
No kidding.
not hungry. So,
Keep your blood sugar level.
Mhm.
mhm.
Keep your thoughts level.
Well, I think we all remember too what we've learned over this whole program about the 9-inch plate and how to look at that plate when we go through that buffet line or whatever it is. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
If I can stay away from, I can care less about sweets. It's the salty, the barbecue type stuff that I have to be careful with. But I
Mhm.
try to look at the size meat portion. I look at the greens, what color are they, and am I doing the right carbs? I tell you, it's really been something for me to being an old ex-coach too, and going to the College of Physical Education, Health and Recreation. I know about most of this stuff,
Mhm.
but you get lazy at times.
I was thinking about Thanksgiving, and we all have really, Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Can you believe it?
No.
But there's lots of recipes that maybe we've been making in our family for a long time. Has anyone thought about how you might adapt those to make them healthier?
I think our turkey is healthy. I mean, we do our own turkey. Now, the dressing that we make from Sharon's mom, she got me to do it for 12 years in a row. While I was her helper. I would make some and just let all of y'all taste it. I mean, it'll knock your socks off. But it's got a dozen eggs, about 4 sticks of butter. I mean, it's a polished type thing.
No wonder it's good, right?
It's only one time a year, though.
I'd probably be sick for a month after that now.
Oh, man, no kidding.
It is really good. We take all the juices from the turkey, and it really is good. I made it sound bad. It might be a little bad.
Has celery in it though.
And it's got homemade cornbread, real cornbread that I make to go in it. So about 1.5, 2 pans of cornbread.
So are you still going to have that same dinner, guys, or are you going to change it out?
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
But I like what you say though. You make it once a year and then you don't make it ever again. So I mean, and it's just the amount. You can have a little bit on your plate. It's just you can't have. Like I say, I don't need to eat all I want. I don't need to eat all I can eat.
Well, if it's a carb, you get a half a cup, something like that of it. And somebody said some bites that satiates the first 2 or 3 bites, something like that. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll send the rest of it home with the other fat little guys.
One thing that our daughter has done, she's made a lot of recipes and used Splenda or not Splenda, the Truvia or the Splenda. Truvia.
Stevia.
Substitutes those for the sugar. She has made flourless cookies, and they're good. And with sugar-free chocolate chips in there. So she substituted a lot of things, and they taste great to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't have believed it. There's no way in the world I'd have even tried them before, but they're pretty darn good.
Well, and I was talking to a home ec kind of gal, and she said that most recipes can use half the sugar that we put into it. So even if you use, and I often use coconut sugar which is lower on the glycemic scale. It's still sugar, but it's a little lower. You can use half of that and then substitute your applesauce for part of your oil and those kind of things. Those that significantly cuts back on your calories. It's healthier for everybody. And half the time people don't know that you even did it, so what they don't know won't hurt them. If they have it once a year, they're expecting it to taste good, and it does. So
That's really true. And you can make things taste sweeter just by adding a little bit of cloves and cinnamon, or adding vanilla or some other kind of seasoning like that to make it kind of fun. And it's your taste buds that want satisfying, not necessarily the sugar,
Yeah. But it's just having a plan when you walk in the door. What are you going to do? One of my friends was telling me she was having a hard time drinking her water on the weekends, but during the week she has a big jug that she sits on her desk, and she knows exactly how much she drinks. And it's easy for her to get her water, but you can't carry around a gallon jug as you run errands all weekend. You've got to think of a different plan when your schedule is different. So
Actually, you can get a big thermos. I've got one of those this tall, and it just has a little spout. Bring it with you.
Well, I'm just thinking that, she's got a big jug. You can't just haul that around with you as you go through the grocery store. So maybe it's a better plan to have a little box with your 8 bottles of water, or your however many bottles of water that you have. So you kind of got to rethink. When your schedule changes, sometimes you have to rethink how you do things, but you have to think about it ahead of time and how you're going to logistically do it.
Yeah. Rick carries a little 6-pack cooler and keeps it in his car or wherever.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I don't know about you, but my tongue doesn't like certain water. If it's really chlorinated, I just can't drink it. It just kind of grosses me out. So what I do is I have this 32-ounce thing, and I fill it up 3 times, and make sure that if I'm going somewhere that I have bottled water. And I even sometimes just keep a gallon of spring water with me, and then I can just fill this baby up, and it doesn't go bad because I do a lot of work outside of my home, and I need to have my water with me. And if I have to run to Orlando or something like that, in that car drive, I make sure I have enough water.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to think about that. It's cold enough outside now where if we keep water in our plastic jugs, the plastic isn't going to seep out all those toxins in the heat. So it's a little bit safer for our bodies too.
It's just having a plan. It's just thinking it through. How are you going to do it? What are you going to do? You're going to be tempted by different things, and we all know what our weaknesses are. It's just thinking it through and deciding, okay, this is what I'm willing to do. Stop that whole stop, challenge, and choose. Having a plan ahead of you.
I agree with that, Terry, and I really think that sometimes when you look at the food and the lifestyle, a lot of us focus on, hope I don't mess up, I hope I don't fall off the wagon, or, that kind of stuff. And honestly, you guys, I don't see you that way. I really see you as really strong, that you know how to make decisions. You made a decision to do this challenge. You made a decision to get healthier. And I really see you as super capable and in control and not afraid.
Mm-hmm.
So put that under your hat and take it with you when you go to these parties and as you live your lives, because I know this is our last chance to be together from the challenge. And I just want to encourage you so much to make your decisions ahead of time. You know who you are, and just be true to yourself. Don't let that fudge junk, that Aunt Mavis makes with artificial this and artificial that, but man, it tastes so fabulous. But don't let that take you down. Like if you have a little bite, who cares? But when I was growing up, I lived by the table. All of my cousins and I, this was our meeting place. Let's go to the table. Okay, so I went to a Christmas dinner as an adult. I'm like as a major adult, all of us cousins, we ended up right back there at that table. We were still there.
Mhm.
You know,
So we had to kind of
that's
move
a
ourselves
that's
away.
an insight. You know,
Excuse me.
if you would make the habit of, instead of hanging around the kitchen, go somewhere outside the kitchen, get away
Yeah.
from where the food is. Because if you're around the food, what are you going to do? You're
Nibble.
gonna- that
Nibble.
only that, you know,
Okay.
such as my bacon wrapped hot dogs and those kind of things. I mean, you know, really healthy things, you know. So we'll go out to the porch. I think that's what I'm going to do this year.
That's
That's smart.
awesome.
You get my rocking chair and look out over the lake. So that would be better anyway.
Oh, I love that. So you made a decision and now I can copy you.
There you go.
You know, speaking of that also is, you know, after the meal, putting the food away. So that it's not just sitting out, because that's what people will do. They just keep, you know, they're full as can be. They're ready to explode, and they'll still, oh, one last bite of that turkey or whatever it is. It's just,
Clean
you know,
plate.
get it, put it away. You know, everybody fill their plate. Yeah, we've all done it, right? Fill your plate, you know, reasonably, and then that's it. You know, you're done. So. Setting ourselves up for success, because frankly most of us can look around our family, and most of us none of us really need to eat another plate full of food.
I think another thing you've got to think about and be prepared for is, what are you going to do when mom or the sister or whoever's serving says, oh, of course you want seconds, let me get you another plate. I've got a lot of folks who are really insistent that you got to have more, and it's almost an insult if you don't.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to rewire that before you step into that arena.
Fortunately, my sister won't do that to me, nor will my mom, actually.
Lucky.
And when my mom was alive, she wanted to cook something that she knew what everyone was their special dish. So we would have so much food. So after she died, me and my sisters, we got together and we said, hey, we're cutting this menu down.
Yeah.
It helped a lot because we try to do, you know, a meat and a vegetable and just, you know, have it so much more in line. So
Mhm.
that's going to be helpful this next year too. I mean, this coming Thanksgiving.
You just said something really brilliant there, Sharon. You said that your mom created a lot of dishes that she knew everybody loved, and that was her way of loving you guys.
Yeah.
And I think that we find a lot of emotional triggers come up during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, almond roca was my mom's gift every year for Christmas. You know, my mother passed away too, so I'm not going to have that anymore. But there's just a lot of memories and things that go along with food,
Mhm.
gathering and loving each other. And, you know, I just know we're all going to really love ourselves and our families by just showing a better way, you know, and making sure we all stick around a long time so we can have many more holidays to come.
What is going to help Sharon and I more than anything is our son and daughter-in-law are health nuts. I mean, you know, they do,
Awesome.
you know, all like that. So when we get together as a family, it's usually going to be pretty healthy meal, I can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Either, you know, something like that. So it makes it easier.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, when you can get everybody on board, that's what makes that helps.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's a conversation you have before the holidays with your family. How can we make this healthier for everyone?
Oh, brilliant. I love that.
You know, make sure there's options there. Maybe a smaller a smaller amount of your favorite things, and a larger amount of those, just a salad and those kind of things that,
We'll do that this year for Christmas, Terry.
Okay, let's do it, my friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to mention again and reiterate that Terry and Carol said we are continuing with our Habits of Health classes. Is anyone interested in joining us for those? They will be Wednesday. Are we doing it on Thursday as well, Terry?
I don't think we've got it all ironed out yet.
Okay. if you're interested in continuing with us and learning and sharing, please just give your coach or your friend or whoever invited you to the challenge, make sure you let them know so that we can make sure you get invitations with the Zoom address and the times and the topics. And myself, I would love to have your requests. So if you will please, please, please share what you'd like to learn about. You know, give us any topic at all. It could be about sleep. It can be about anything at all. And it would be so neat to share different topics with you. And we all learn together. So hopefully I'm making it sound super inviting and enticing.
It is.
You are.
So any final comments? We're at our half-hour mark, and I just want to give an opportunity for anybody to offer anything before we say good night. Any final thoughts about the challenge or about anything?
Well, you guys have really made the our time together, I think, very good, very informative, and just fun being together.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to those other calls.
Yeah, I'll agree with that too.
Me too. Yeah, I always looked forward every day to get up in the morning and check the Meltdown Challenge and read through the readings and videos and stuff. I thought that was a lot of fun. So
Good.
it was a lot more fun than I thought it might be initially. So
Right.
My
I agree.
challenge to you ladies is to have more men on this thing next time.
Well, let's get some more men in there.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
I just want to say thank you to Kim.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
what did you say the exercise videos were for you, your running buddy?
Yeah, I call him my little running buddy. I knew whenever I looked at that exercise video, it gave me an idea of what I needed to do, you know, at the end of my exercise or the next day from exercise. Because I usually exercise before I look at the film. But I call it my little accountability running buddy.
I like those too. They were good.
Mhm.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming, and we hopefully we'll be posting the information about the continuing Zoom meetings. And thank you for coming, and we will see you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
God bless you all
Bye.
very much. Take
Bye.
good care.